Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I'm going to review and show you how to use this new product from Ohuhu. And this is kind of exciting because, as you probably know, Ohuhu was one of the first companies to come out with an affordable art marker to rival Copic. And then a few years later, they came up with brush markers, and now they actually have the replacement nibs. And they are selling a kit of 8 nibs with 1 tweezer, and that costs $10 regular price. And I do have a 10% off coupon code for ohuhu.com. You can also find them on Amazon at the regular price, but sometimes they do coupons and different sales, so I would definitely keep your eyes open. And these just came out, so I'm wondering if maybe in the future, because this first kit comes with tweezers, and these tweezers look very much like the Copic tweezers that are like $8 just for the tweezers. I'm wondering that in the future if they might just sell like bulk packs of the nibs without the tweezers, since all these introductory kits have the tweezers. So I haven't opened this one yet. I'm just going to show you really quickly what it looks like when you get it in the mail. It's got this nice little plastic clamshell, which I'm gonna keep, and I'm gonna put all my brush nibs together from Ohuhu, because this is handy. This would be a really good way to keep the other nibs that I have from other companies. I have a variety of different nibs from like Blick and Arteza and Art and Fly and Copic, because I like to try them out, see how interchangeable they are, see how the value is. These are double-ended, which means if one end frays, you can pull it out and you can put it in the opposite way, which I was actually surprised that they came out with nibs, because you can do that with their markers. But if you find these still fray, then you can do this. Or if maybe you bought the old style Ohuhu and you want to turn the chisel end into a brush nib, you can do that. Now, it's funny because I suggested that to a viewer, because when I saw these came out, I actually took a nib out of my Ohuhu brush clear blender and put it in the standard, the old school Ohuhu brush, like colorless blender thing, just to see if it fit, and it fit. But Ohuhu was like, they're not designed for those older style ones. So I decided that I'm gonna just take the newest old style version I have and put a nib in it and see how it does. So what you want to do is take the chisel edge cap off, take your tweezers. You're just gonna, you could use a paper towel if you don't have the tweezers, but these come with the tweezers. You're just gonna give it a squeeze and just pull it straight out. It comes out really easily. Then you're gonna take a nib out of the package. I'm being careful to hold it from the sides. I just lotioned my hands, so I don't want to get lotion on it. And I actually just use my fingers to press them in. I suppose you could use the tweezers. These are a perfect fit. I thought these were going to be a little loose. They are a perfect fit. I think these are just a smidgen larger than Copic brush nibs, so I don't think they'll fit in the Copic markers. You know what? Let me grab a Copic marker and we can take a look. I think Copic's a little bit smaller. You could probably put them in the chisel end. Yeah, the Copic opening is just a touch smaller, so I don't think they're going to fit in the Copic markers. They're also not quite as good quality as a Copic nib, but a Copic nib is, you know, you get 3 for like $8, and here you're getting 8 for $10. So, and then you want to cap it off and let it sit for a few minutes. So what I did was I did the same thing with this one, and I actually turned my stopwatch on. At about 2 minutes, I was seeing the color come up, and then I went and made a cup of tea, and I came back, and then the color was all the way up to the tip. So I thought this might be a really good option if you have a few colors, especially like the skin tones, the pastels, stuff you like to blend out with, earth tones, your lighter tones. I think this would be a nice option if you didn't want to go purchase brush markers, but you just wanted to make a few of your bullet chisel markers have a brush end on it. It is cheaper to just buy the brush markers and to buy a bunch of nibs and convert your old markers over. If if you say you already have like the Ohuhu classic markers that look like this, and you're like, oh, I wish I had brush nibs, I wish I had the brush and chisel and a brush and bullet nib combination, so you buy some nibs. It costs more to do this than it would just be to buy the markers, because these nibs are like $1, I think they'd be about $1.20 each. I'm saying if the tweezers were free, and I'm just saying the 8 nibs, that'd be about $1.20 each. A little bit less if you use the coupon code. So if you buy any of the Ohuhu sets to get the brush markers, you only pay about 60 to 78 cents per marker. So it's cheaper just to buy the markers, and you can buy them on the Ohuhu website at the same price to get them brush and bullet or brush and chisel combination. So if you're planning on doing that for all your markers, I would say just go ahead and buy a set buy the set you want of the brush markers, because they'll be all fresh and juicy and full of ink and stuff. But if you just have a few colors that you'd like to make a brush tip, this is a great option. Or if you have, you know, worn down the nib and I think if you've worn down the nib and you flipped it around, I think you would have used up all the ink by then, but they are coming out with ink refills, so that's exciting as well. I imagine it'll take a while for them to get all 320 colors done in their ink refills, but it's nice that they're doing that. It's nice that this exists, because something else I realized is that all of these other, like the old Ohuhu, like if you bought the old Ohuhu set, so when they first came out, they were actually touch new markers, and their chisel nib there, they are the same. So let me just pull this out here. I can show you. Well, let's flip it over so you can see them apples to apples. They're the same chisel nib for the most part. You could put a brush nib in those older styles too. Well, actually, you know what? Let me get the clear blue. I'm thinking that actually looks a little bit smaller. Maybe that wouldn't fit. Hold on a second. I'm going to find the clear blender for that. Oh, you know what? I'm sure I don't have the clear blender. I'll just get a really light color, because I don't want to like compromise I don't want to compromise a nib. I don't just want to stick all these in there and then waste them. Let's just see if they'll fit really quick. And then I don't want to put it in there enough to let the ink. Yeah, they will fit. They will fit. Okay, I just don't want to stain that nib. So yeah, if you have the older style markers from Ohuhu from way back in the day, they're gonna fit just fine. This does keep your fingers clean. I like that, because before I usually just grab a paper towel and pull them out. That one went in here, barely beige one in there. But then they're also the same size as the Touch 5, which I don't know where that came from, but that's also good. That's got a slightly wider nib, I think. But it's the same size as that, so that's going to fit. Those are going to be the same. So you could put brush nibs in there. Anything that has a chisel nib like that, these Ohuhu tips are going to work with them. Now I know that that's kind of like off market, but I like to test this kind of stuff because I'm sure that's what you want to know. And you want to know before you spend $5 on something, right? Oh, when you pull out the nib, pull it out like that. So like you can get the little fingers underneath the little cut in on each side, rather than going this way, because there's nothing for it to catch on. When you push it back in, you can push it back in either way. Ooh, this guy only going one way. There we go. No, there we don't go. I think I had it in the wrong way. Oh, now I'm having a heck of a time. Just getting its own. I'll deal with that off camera. But like even the concept markers by Jerry's Artorama, they also have that same size chisel nib in there. So yeah, if you want to turn your chisel end of your markers, of any of the budget markers you have, for the most part, I would say all the ones I looked at would fit. You could get these Ohuhu brush tips and put them in the chisel end of your markers and be on your merry way. Like I said, it's not necessarily a money savings, because the the brush nibs cost more than a brand new marker in the sets. But if you've already got a bunch of markers and you just want to cross over a few of them, there you go. Or maybe you have more expensive markers and you want to change the tips. I think these would work with pro markers. Let me check a pro marker, because I don't think they'll work with a Prismacolor, because the Prismacolors have a real fat nib on there, but it should work with a pro marker. Let's pull that out and take a look at what that nib looks like. Yeah, I think that will work just fine. So that's a pro marker. This is the Ohuhu. Yeah, they're the same size. So they'll work interchangeably. Just trying to make sure I put that in the right way. I like my pro markers. I don't use them very often, but I do like them. So yeah, if you've got markers kicking around that you want to have brush tips, but you don't want to spend a fortune, check these out. Give them a try. I think they work great, and I love that they come with the tweezers for free. I'm hoping that they will offer just the nib, like a bigger pack of the nibs without the tweezers in the future, just for people that already have the tweezers, because how many of these are you going to need? And then if you do get marker on the tweezers and you're afraid of it contaminating something else, what you want to do is take a little bit of alcohol and a rag, rubbing alcohol, whatever you have, it doesn't have to be anything in particular. Just, it's gotta have alcohol in it. Just spray and wipe and you can clean those right off. So now for the nibs I've taken out of those other markers, I don't know exactly. I used lighter colors because that's what I tend to want to blend out with. We can see if this one has, oh good, they've both gotten light. I can't remember which one. I think I did the mushroom white. That's the one I did earlier. So juicy. Yeah, it's working fine. And as more ink fills in there, it'll be even juicier. But I don't know how long we've been going. We've been going for 10 minutes. So, you know, less than 10 minutes for that to transfer down. Yeah, I think it's a fun thing to do. Great way to get more use out of your products. What I'll probably do is spray these with alcohol and stick them in a little baggie. And then if I need a similar chisel, I'll have it. Or if I want something to experiment with, I'll have it. I'm not going to do this with the rest of my Ohuhu markers because I already have the brush set. And I like the chisel nibs too. But I don't know. I'm funny. I don't like things to go to waste, so that's probably silly. And they're perfectly good nibs. I probably could soak them in alcohol and clean them out and then save them. Maybe that's what I'll try. Maybe that'll be my next experiment. Let me know if you want to see that. And this is what the regular Ohuhu brush marker looks like. So these are meant to just replace those nibs. But like I said, if you fray it, pull it out, put it in backwards, push it back in, and then you've got a fresh new nib. I've never frayed them. So, and I'm pretty gentle with my markers. I don't really push on them. So it could just be my use. I'm a little gentler with them than like maybe brush letterers, but they've lasted really well for me. But anyway, that's just a quick little overview and review of this great little set of nibs from Ohuhu. I am so glad they're doing this. I hope more marker companies sell nibs to go with the markers, but I gotta say, nibs are pretty standard. Like most chisel nibs are about the same. Most bullet nibs are about the same. Most brush nibs are about the same. The Copic ones, the Copic Arteza and Blick Studio ones are a little bit nicer. They're also quite a bit more expensive. So, you know, you've got something for each budget now. You've got something that's way less money, but pretty decent quality. Then you've got much better quality for a little more money. Or I don't say much better, but you know, they're just more flexible. These are not flexible. Those ones are more flexible, I would say. It's, you know, it's like, I don't know, it's just, this is like a slightly flexible felt tip, and the other one has a little bit of a rubbery feeling to it, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I give these, you know, 2 thumbs up. I think they're great, and I'm so glad that they've put these out for such a reasonable price. And hopefully they will do some larger packs of them, because I would love to have a bunch of these on hand. Of course, I do have a bunch of them on hand right now, but yeah, I think if they did a big bulk set of these and the price was less than what the brush markers cost on their own, I think they would sell like hotcakes, because everyone would buy them to convert their other brands of markers into brush markers. I mean, it's a no-brainer. And yeah, so they're definitely giving Copic a run for their money, I gotta say. Hope you enjoyed this little overview. I really like it. I like the packaging. I like the fact that I can reuse it. Whereas the little cellophane bags or the little zippy bags that other nibs come in, you just kind of toss. These I'm going to, actually I'm going to put my brush nibs together, and I'm going to, you know, I'm going to organize. Well, that would be kind of cool about collecting a bunch of these and have a bunch of these little things to keep my nibs in, and it would be so tidy. I love tidy little organization. Anyway, I'm just rambling. Thank you for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you liked it. Until next time, happy crafting. Bye!